First thing that we'll do is we'll hit digest. And the reason we're going to do that is because ComTrack needs to look at your commission statements, and you just need to have them in whatever folder in your computer. I have them in this folder here called Demo Commission Statements. They could be organized however you want in subfolders beneath that. ComTrack is pre-programmed to recognize each one of the carrier statements. We look at them ahead of time. We program ComTrack to recognize them. We have a list of all the carriers that we support up here, and that is growing by the day. Hit OK. ComTrack did two things when it digested all those files. It created agent carrier pairs like so. So Bruce Wayne has commissions with Cigna. Bruce Wayne has commissions with Scan, Central Health Plan, United Healthcare, MedAdvantage, as opposed to MedSup. Evan McGuffey, me, I have commissions with all these. Okay, so that's the first thing that it did. It listed the NPN here. Don't get overwhelmed by reconcile. I will go over that with you in a second. But the other thing that Digest did was it took all of the commission data on each one of the statements and it formatted it onto a uniform sheet called all time. And so in all time, we can see all the data got mapped uniformly, right? We have agent name, we have carrier, agent ID if it's provided by the carrier on their statement, agent NPN statement, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through every single column with you here, but just rest assured everything that you'd ever need is listed here. And as you can see, not every carrier gives you data on each column, but that's all right. You have a link to the original statement, so if we click on this, it'll open up the original statement that row came from. And lastly, ComTrack classifies your commissions, each row, into one of 5 categories: advance, renewal, chargeback, HRA, and fee. That way you can pay agents and overrides to your downlines differently depending on one of those 5 categories, and it'll just allow you to segment and look at your business in blocks when you're dealing with your dashboard. All right. So in Reconcile, we can create rules and we can tell ComTrack, hey, this is how much I'm supposed to receive when I get paid from this carrier or on this agent. And if there's an issue, if the commission that I received was not what I expected, then show me the reconcile amount. Sometimes I'm going to be underpaid, sometimes I'm going to be overpaid. So I'm going to fill this out now. So boom, I just filled that out. And essentially you can tell ComTrack, depending on what carrier it is and the agent, how much you're supposed to receive. If it's in advance, you could put in the dollar amount here, how much you're supposed to receive. If it's renewal, put in the dollar amount here. You could tell them if it's prorated, meaning that you get paid between now and the end of, you get advance between now and the end of the calendar year, so on and so forth. So I'm going to hit reconcile. Boom. All right. And now when I go back, I can see these guys. So the commission amount was this. The expected commission was what I told it. And I'm either going to be down or ahead, right? I got overpaid by $2.50. I got underpaid by this amount. Again, these aren't real numbers. I'm just showing you how it might look. And if there's one where you got paid exactly, then I'll just show 0 here. All right. The next feature is run payroll. So we can create comp plans for our LOA agents. This is really what you're going to use for LOAs. For downlines or overrides, you'll use a feature called the upline splits, but I created these arbitrary comp plans. You can decipher between if you pay your agents a flat dollar amount or you pay them like a percentage, something like that. All right. And you can pay them differently depending on if it's an advance, renewal, chargeback, or an HRA. All right. And then we come over. I'm going to put Bruce Wayne on the bronze comp plan for all these carriers except for Central Health Plan. He's going to be on the silver comp plan. And again, you can make an unlimited amount of comp plans over here, and you can make them tailored towards a specific line of business or a specific carrier. And the beautiful thing is you can assign a different comp plan depending on the carrier per agent. All right, so M. McGuffey, he's going to be on silver, and I'm going to go through and drag down because it's Excel and you can do that. Just put these in here, and I'm just going to apply payroll to agent and uplines This gets a little tricky because some carriers you only want to pay out overrides, some carriers you only want to pay the agent, some carriers you want to pay both the agent and the uplines. So I'm just going to mark that for all of them and run payroll. Okay, and payroll was ran. I come back to my all time and I can see to the right of classification, that was the last column that we talked about in the all time, the agent comp plan that was assigned to that agent. So when Evan McGuffey writes United Healthcare, I'm on the silver comp plan. I'm getting $300 renewal because that must have been what I put in there. All right, and then we're applying payroll to the agent and the uplines. So if we scroll over to the right, for whatever reason, just because we inserted it this way, just a random example, there's no upline 1 on Evan McGuffey, but Evan McGuffey has upline 2 at XYZ, and XYZ is getting a 25% split, and that's 25% of what you as the user received, right? Wayne Bruce has an upline 3, that's integrity at 7%, and the payroll is negative because he was charged back. Right? That was for a chargeback. Must have been. Boom. Yep, it's for a chargeback. All right. So you can apply that in bulk to your agents and then eventually see your spread. Okay. The reason that these are all negatives is because I got silly with it and I'm paying out my agent $300 on a renewal. Okay. It's ridiculous. You don't want negative spreads, but this is how the feature works. We're going to come back over. By the way, settings is your home base here. So we're going to hit split into months, missing renewals. What this does is it takes all the data from the all-time tab, it creates new tabs at the bottom, which you're going to see, and then it's going to show you the missing renewals on a month-by-month basis. So if we come down here next to all-time, we now have all these new tabs, and this is when I have commission and all these other ones. Payment period unknown is if there's no payment period given on one of the statements, but that won't happen very often. So we could go through to like August, July, June. So I'm checking out June here, and these are all policies that have payments in June, okay? And so I could scroll down to the bottom of this, call it data block here, bottom of this. Oh, okay, I did scroll down. Okay, the other option is if you don't feel like scrolling down, you could just click this green button at the top left, and that'll scroll down for you. And it'll automatically scroll you down to what's called the missing renewals, okay? This section shows you renewals that were present in the month prior, which was May of 2024, but not this month, right? If you were in the July one, it would show you the renewals that were present in June of 2024, but not July of 2024. Okay, so that was split into months. What I'm gonna do now is show you reference. So reference, what about if you wrote the application on Sunfire, Connecture, one of the carrier portals, Health Sherpa, and you never got paid in the first place? Well, in reference, what you're going to do is paste any list of clients' names and then just hit cross-reference. And I'm just working with, 20 lines here. You're going to have hundreds and hundreds of lines. All right. And ComTrack is going to go and find the commission for that person. And if it can't be found, right, if we just do I don't think I have a client named John Smith, right? Okay. So with John Smith, if it can't be found, means you got to look into that. You wrote the application, there's no matching commission. What are we going to do? So that's what reference is. Now, settings, again, that's your home base. Generate reports. You're going to be able to generate reports for all of your agents and uplines. And what that's going to look like, it takes a bunch of time, so I'm just going to show you the finished product. But it's going to generate a folder for you with all of your agents or uplines reports. And so if I come into this agent reports, I have all these agents, right? And so if I'm viewing one of these reports, let's say you generated it, you sent it to me, you sent me my report. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to have your logo up here. I'm going to be able to see my beautiful dashboard, and I'll get into, I haven't even talked about your dashboard as an agency, but I'll have a dashboard as a receiving agent with a receiving agent report. I can filter by carrier. I can filter by advanced, chargeback fee, HRA renewal, right? I can look at my all time, and I can look at each one of my months and see my missing renewals just the same way that you can on yours. So it's beautiful here. And we'll show you how to put your logo up here. Have a nice branded report. Your dashboard also looks pretty sweet. I mean, you have this really big bar here. You get to use your timeline, and so just drag and check out any period of time that you would like. But you have your commission amount, you have your count, which is the number of rows for that particular month. These reflect each other. They mirror the same data. So in April, right? Same thing here. You can see the dollar amount. You can see the number of transactions that it came from. You can filter by carrier. You can select multiple carriers, and you could filter by agent. You could select multiple agents. Actually, I selected everything except for those, but you get the point. You could select your agent. You could select if you want to look at advances, chargebacks, renewals, or fees. As of the time of making this video, we don't have any agent leaderboards yet, but that should be out in about a week. And so maybe I'll make a new video that you're watching here, or I don't. You're just gonna have to imagine. There's awesome agent leaderboards where you can see like net apps written, advances versus chargebacks, chargeback ratios, your top 10 agents, so on and so forth. And to the right, we have this beautiful pivot table.